Hey YouTube, MJB here. Today we will go over all different types of aliens mentioned in the most notable incidents involving UFOs, abductions and other bizarre encounters. 4 men claim to be kidnapped by aliens while fishing in Eagle Lake, passing lie detector tests and making detailed drawings of the beings that took them. According to the men, the beings had almond-shaped eyes, 4 fingers, long necks and frail limbs. The heads were big and they had pointy chins. They were looking a bit insect-like. The beings were also smaller than humans. Inside the craft, fluids were taken from them, and since the men only recalled the event through hypnosis and nightmares, most details remain vague. It is unknown if the creatures spoke any language or how they communicated. The creatures described in this abduction story were about 1.5 meters or 5 foot tall. They were humanoid-like creatures wearing grey suits and helmets. The creatures had small blue eyes and didn't speak. Instead, they make barking or yelping noises. After the abductee was being examined on, he encountered a female alien that had the same height as the other aliens. The being had a pointy chin and cat-like eyes. This alien wasn't wearing a suit or helmet and had a pinkish human skin color and blonde hair. On 2 separate occasions, beings are encountered by French civilians in Valasol and Kasuk. The beings were reported to be around 1.20 meters or 47 inches tall. The beings were wearing black overalls as well and had a grey skin color, big heads and small eyes. These beings spoke with grunt-like sounds and were telepathic. Interestingly, one of the witnesses claimed to have been paralyzed by a tube-like object that was pointed towards him. This report made news headlines in many countries. A group of children claimed one of their friends was kidnapped by a trio of aliens. The beings were reported to be a massive 13 feet or almost 4 meters in height and had 3 eyes on a dome-like face or helmet. The aliens also had a robot companion as well. According to the children, the aliens used a tube-like object to paralyze and abduct a 16-year-old, which they returned shortly after. Interesting parallel with the encounters in France, where creatures were also said to use a tube-like object to paralyze onlookers. The tall alien was reported to wear a suit or look a bit robot-like. Not much else is known about the appearance of the creatures though, but we do know that the craft had an oval shape and was marked with a symbol that was also shown around the waist of the creatures. By the way, if you are enjoying this video so far, don't forget to smash that like button and subscribe to get notified when the next video goes live. This is one of the biggest alien cases in Brazil, with military involvement and what appears to be a lot of strange excuses from the Brazilian military to cover up for this story. It's a pretty interesting one. Reports come in of a creature wandering the streets of Varginha. It was walking on 2 legs, had a V-shaped feet, a big head, bronzish dark skin and red eyes. It had 3 fingers and its skull had an interesting shape as well. The creature was accompanied by an ammonia-like odor, and after being spotted by the first witnesses, the creature was later found lying on a road. Now, according to eyewitnesses, 3 military trucks were supposedly sent to retrieve it. The creature was transported to the hospital as it appeared to be wounded or suffering. The military dismissed the incident completely. There was a planned training exercise, and the creature seen in the hospital was actually just a dwarf couple that came there to deliver a baby. And what about the creature seen on the street? That was just a mentally unstable man covered in mud. Absolutely nothing to see here, people. Please move along. A man was abducted by a beam of light coming from a craft, leaving the co-workers who were with him absolutely terrified. When he woke up, he was being observed by 3 short, hairless creatures with big heads and big eyes. According to the abductee, the creatures appeared not to display any emotion and their eyes pierced through him. While inside the craft, he tried to escape but was stopped by what appeared to be a human in a blue uniform. This human-looking alien was male and had long blonde hair. After that, the man claimed he was forcefully taken back to a surgery table where he was put on a weird mask and lost consciousness. When he woke up again, he found out that he had been missing for 5 days and his co-workers were actually being investigated for his disappearance. A man was riding his horse-drawn cart in the woods when 2 smaller creatures jumped aboard of his cart. He first mistook them for foreigners, but he soon noticed that something was off. They had green faces and palms and were wearing black skin-tight suits. They spoke a language the man couldn't understand. To him it sounded very fast with a lot of short words. They had slanted eyes and protruding cheekbones. The creatures took the man to their craft where he was examined. They used a device which looked like 2 dishes welded together to examine him. The inside of the craft had a black greyish color which was similar to the color of the suits the aliens were wearing. The outside of the craft was white and looked like polished aluminium. During his encounter, the creatures were eating something what a man resembles as icicles. The aliens crumbled the icicles into smaller pieces before eating them and even offered some to him. However, he refused. When the aliens were done with the man, he was just let go, and that was the end of that. They actually put up a monument for this encounter in Poland, pretty cool. A bright object was seen in the sky, prompting a few locals to see what might have crashed in the woods. Once in the woods, they noticed a red pulsating light. After a flashlight was shown in that direction, the group saw a man-like figure with a red face surrounded by a hood-like shape. The creature seen was about 10 feet or 3 meters tall, had a blood red-like face, a green body, protruding eyes and small claw-like hands. The head of the creature resembled an ace of spades. According to the group, it made a hissing sound and it glided towards them, causing them to panic and run away. The group also noticed a smelly mist was hanging around the area, and even after the group got out of the woods, some of them started vomiting and even fainted after the encounter. A group of locals arrived in distress at the local police station, claiming they've been attacked by small creatures that were trying to break into their house. The creatures were about 2 or 4 feet or 60 centimeters tall, and about 12 or 15 of the creatures climbed the roof of the house and tried to gain entry to the windows, to the doors. The family shot at the creatures, which didn't appear to have too much effect. And even after this encounter, the following night, the creatures came back, which prompted the entire family to pack their things and leave. According to later media reports, the creatures had green skin, pointy ears, eyes that glowed yellow and claw-like hands. There are also several less known cases about people reported being abducted by little grey aliens who are accompanied by large insect-looking creatures who seem to be in command. Most witnesses say that these creatures look like oversized praying mantis. And according to some abductees, there are also this general group of Nordic looking like aliens, which are humanoids who are supposed to originate from the Pleiades. They are claimed to be telepathic, and sometimes it's said that they have 6 fingers. And finally, the Reptilians. Some abductees claim to have seen these reptile-like humanoids. Actually, one of the first claims came from an Alaskan police officer who in 1967 claimed to be taken aboard a ship piloted by humanoid beings which had a slight reptilian appearance and who wore a winged serpent emblem on the left side of their chest. Later, it was popularized that the Reptilians are living on Earth in underground bases, and those were all the alien species encountered that I could find. I hope you enjoyed this video. Many thanks for watching if you stick to the end. Stay safe and stay curious. Bye bye.